Death Cab for Cutie is, I have said time and time again, to me, my first language of music. They're the guys that taught me, like specifically Ben Gibbard and Chris Walla. I probably have to add Colin Malloy in there if we're just calling a spade, being all cards on the table. Those guys taught me how to play guitar. I obsessively listened to Plans and Transatlanticism and The Crane Wife. And James Mercer's The Shins with O Inverted World. Those albums in particular gave me a foundational language to learn to speak. I, without question, have probably said more than any other band in my life that Death Cab for Cutie was my favorite band. From like the age of 14 when I discovered them until like the age of 25 when I stopped listening to the same 200-song playlist. And started beginning to sort of branch out to the point of now where it's deeply sentimental, formative music that I cannot help but listen to and just be impacted by still, even though I don't always choose to revisit it, right? It does represent a younger time of my life, but I have the softest spot in my heart for Death Cab for Cutie. I think that there's something to be said about your first favorite band. And in every possible way I can say it, Death Cab for Cutie was my first favorite band. So I am always excited when they put out music, and in my time as a creator, they have not released a new album until now. They've released 2 singles, and this particular one, Punching the Flowers, has a music video that came out last week. So I wanted to watch it. I was actually pretty, I'm not going to lie. I feel like Riptide was, crap. Am I saying that name right? I'm like panicking. Give me a sec. Yes. Okay. For whatever reason, I said Riptide and I was like, wait a minute. Is it some other kind of water name? But yeah, Riptide. Anyways, I was actually about Riptide. I haven't really liked Death Cab's music, or haven't really been moved by it or taken with it in the same way since Chris Walla left the band. Codes and Keys was really like the last one that deeply impacted me. I have high hopes for this upcoming album, having liked the song Riptide. And guys, we're going to hop into the song Punching the Flowers, their new music video. I have to ask, this is a music discovery stream. Have you heard this song or artist, or are you raw dogging a very first listen with me? Definitely let me know. Guys, I'm going to hit the play button. Before I do, it is very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Kick or Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. These people over here are the best people. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. I know I speak for all of us when I say we would love to have you by. Guys, without further ado, Death Cab for Cutie, my first favorite band, Punching the Flowers. Here we go. Into the drums already.
The end of the circle, kept arriving back at the start.
Yo, thank you for the sub,
Having felt
Kiva.
every hurdle, she tried to make him feel better.
Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I realized they had the subtitles. I also wanted to mention this is a much fuzzier tone. You're kind of getting like what seems to be a compressed fuzz tone, which is not in my brain anything other relating to Death Cab for Cutie, which is kind of exciting. This is not typical of their sound, and that makes me happy. Maybe it's just, you'll hear it. It's a really soft fuzz, but that is a fuzz.
In his search, the end of the circle, kept arriving back at the start. Having fell every hurdle, for the wandering. His heart like a dead letter. It always seemed he was punching the flowers, ruminating like a fatalist for hours, with a voice like the sound of slamming doors, in a voice like the sound of slamming doors.
We're back, baby! I love it. I love it. I love it. This has the lyricism that made me fall in love with Ben Gibbard. It absolutely has the lyricism that made me be like, yeah, this guy writes like he's writing my brain, right? But it's also, and it's steeped with that imagery, right? Like wake up punching flowers. Like, what does it mean to punch flowers? Like when you really rehash that imagery, why would you punch at something beautiful that doesn't hurt anybody, right? Like think about what emotions might cause one to punch flower. And it's kind of very innocent yet big imagery. Also, I think that you really see that they've kind of evolved. It's nuts to me as I see this man. That just so you know, like I've spent probably hundreds to thousands of hours listening to Death Cab. Not gonna lie to you. Now there is a very interesting. I'm pulling this video up just to show you. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Hang on. There we go. This is the young man that I grew in first. Everything down to my glasses, right? I've worn black frames my whole life because of this guy. Okay? Like, it's crazy to me to see what maturity does to a man, though. Like this guy, you really see he kind of grows up. Like if you follow his career or their career, you kind of see him write about life in general, like in the surrounding feelings of it, and you know you see him struggle to find love that sticks, find love, and you know feel like on top of the world. Divorce album, well, what everybody says was, but not confirmed, whatever. But you kind of see him live a life where, like, he somehow figures out he gets to play music for a living, and then, you know, he kind of continues to develop with his friends. They navigate, like, what it is to go from being an indie band to, like, kind of a successful act, and, you know, again, you fall in love, you get divorced, your perspectives change. And they didn't always evolve their sound, and especially in the last couple of years, in ways I liked. I like hearing that this feels like a much more guitar-forward thing. I like feeling like they're getting a little bit grittier with it, a little bit brown, but then that they have this ability to like really clean it up.
His heart like a dead letter. It always seemed he was punching the flowers, ruminating like a fatalist for hours, with a voice like the sound of slamming doors, in a voice like the sound of slamming doors.
All of them aged, dude. It's so crazy to see my heroes who were once the young men that I like. The age of the young version of Ben Gibbard I just showed you, and they've all gone gray.
And it seemed he had mildew on his soul from standing at the coastline, wishing it would swallow him whole. She tried to console him, but wanted to go it alone, because he'd never been alone, or felt the myth of control. It always seemed he was
The myth of
punching
control.
the flowers, ruminating like a fatalist for hours, with a voice like the sound of slamming doors, in a voice like the sound of slamming doors. It always seemed he was punching the flowers.
It always seemed he was punching the flowers. It almost feels just a comment on a negative mindset.
All she heard was the sound of
Jason McGurr really slimmed the drum set down too.
Words were sharpened like axes. We swung them blindly around with no regard for the dangers. We slashed her to the ground. Now I'm not sure which is worse.
I love the ethereal
God
rakes
laughs or
there.
it doesn't. Now I'm not sure which is worse.
These
If
reverbs.
it was love or it wasn't. If it was love or it wasn't.
Will somebody pull me a Genius? I love the dance.
All we seemed was punching the flowers, taken for granted the sweet was still sour. When he spoke, it was the sound of slamming doors. All she heard was the sound of slamming doors.
I love
All
this
she heard was
song.
the sound of slamming doors. All she heard was the sound of slamming doors.
It's crazy to me that I found Plans 20 years ago. I was a freshman in high school when I found Plans, and it changed my life, dude. Like, it actually changed my life. Had to make sure. It's crazy to me. I was 14 when that happened, and it's like, and to get this sound and to feel like the men themselves have matured, to feel, oh, here, there's lyrics right here, to feel like the men have matured, like, you know, they didn't just try to do the same thing over and over. And while not every album was my favorite, this is really shaping up to be two very, very, very good songs with what I'm hoping will be a very, very, very good album. You know, I've never really, admittedly, because I was so attached to Chris Walla, I don't know that I ever actually gave Dave and Zach a fair shot, right? I didn't know how I felt about them going from a 4-piece to a 5-piece, but I like the ethos of the band, not just have them be touring musicians and have them be an official part of the band and contribute collaboratively. I like that. That to me makes some good sense. But let's check these lyrics out. In his search for the end of the circle, he kept arriving back at the start, having fell every hurdle, and she tried to make him feel better, but he didn't want to feel better because he was living for the wandering, his heart like a dead letter. I think some people are like that. I think some people don't actually want to feel better. And I'm speaking of that through my own anecdotal experience where like it took some reflecting for me to realize like, oh, wow, I'm doing this to myself. I didn't even know that. It always seemed like he was punching the flowers, ruminating like a fatalist for hours with a voice. Yeah, like people like that don't want to get better perpetuate that themselves. And you can see that negativity in them. This feels like maybe it's a story painted, not one that's like too much about himself, unless he's third-personing himself, I'm not sure. And it seemed he had mildew on his soul from standing at the coastline, wishing it would swallow him whole. And she tried to console him, but he wanted to go it alone because he'd never been alone or felt the myth of control. He's really maturing as a writer, man. The idea of mildew on a soul, right? Like kind of a stinky soul, like kind of just a unpleasant one to be around. Wishing a coastline with like not even really wanting to be alive and like not even accepting control, like consoling, you know. And it's funny because James Mercer of the Shins wrote a lyric in a song called Simple Song saying, I know it can really be rough when you go it alone. But in this context, the subject wants to be alone, which is almost definitely perpetuating his misery further. It always seemed like he was punching the flowers. And again, ruminating like a fatalist for hours, like just kind of wanting things to be over. Words were sharpened like axes, and he swung them blindly around, as people do when they are hurting, or just in a bad way, with no regard for the dangers, and slashed her to the ground. I'm not sure which is worse, if God laughs or he doesn't. And I'm not sure which is worse, if it was love or if it wasn't. think our boys are back. I think our boys are back. As in my boys, because I know a lot of you guys that joined this channel have continuously told me you're not necessarily familiar with Death Cab. And I'm very glad if that was your first impression, because that one isn't a bad first impression of the band. It's not the one I would steer people to first, but it's definitely like a good first impression. I Built You a Tower is coming out June 5th. You better believe we are going to be listening to that almost immediately, like genuinely almost immediately. So prepare. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Goodbye.